In order to recreate the clean machine environment that many students will have, I needed to create a couple of virtual machines so that I could run the instructions of how to go through the setup on my own machine. And so I needed a Mac machine that was clean, and I needed also a Windows machine that was clean. And so I set out to do this, and I'm going to go ahead and capture some of that here simply for my own benefit to remember the steps that I took. So I started out by navigating to MIT's website that has our software. You can see here the link. It is simply isnt.mit.edu/software. Once you navigate there, you'll see this grid of software here. And the very first thing that I needed was the virtualization software. And in this case, I'm looking for it because the machine that's going to hold the virtualization software is a Mac. And you can see here that there are a couple of options. The one I want is VM Fusion Pro. That's what I went ahead and installed. And once I had done that, I needed some VMs. And the next step that I took was to download some of the VMs, and I'm going to go ahead here and move to operating system. And then I'm going to say any platform. And as you can see here, I have some operating systems. I started out first, since I had downloaded the virtualization environment, by using some of the images. You can see here, virtual machine, virtual machine. It turned out that those images have some unknown dependencies. I try to recreate the the environment where they were to be used, but ultimately, and I got it to work, but ultimately I just felt there were too many unknowns and I didn't want these to break. And so I figured it wouldn't take me that much longer to create my own install. And so that's what I did. I downloaded Windows 10. This is the ISO image. And I went through the setup. I installed the operating system from scratch. And I did something similar with the Mac. Although, as you can see here, Mac OS 10.14 Mojave is available through this. Really what it does is it takes you back to the App Store for Apple. And from there, you can download it. Now, one of the things to note is that as you go through the Apple install, and I'll say more about that in a moment, there are some tricky bits that will not allow you to do it. But let's go ahead and jump into that now. So just to overview, I downloaded the ISO image for Windows 10 Enterprise. And then for Apple, I did the same, but I did that through the store. So let me just navigate to the store. I'm going to go ahead and open that up here. So I'm going to navigate to the store. And as we can see here, we have the store. I'm then going to go ahead and enter Mojave. It's probably the easiest way. There's probably other ways to search for it. But as you can see here, I have Mac OS Mojave. And if I click on the link, you can see there that I can get it. Now, once you download it, it shows up under your apps. I'm going to go ahead and show you that next. Here's applications. I'm going to go ahead to the icon view. In a minute, we should be able to see it. You can see here, it says install Mac OS Mojave. Now, once you start the installation, and let me go ahead and navigate to VMware now. And I'm going to start here and I'm going to say new. You can go ahead and drag and drop this install. And as you can see there, well, I'm going to go ahead and clear the most recent things I did. But if we do, you can see there that you can install it. Now, the tricky bit is that for some reason, when it finishes downloading, it launches it right away. And the only way to kill it so that you can use it within the VM environment is to go to your disk utility. And here I'll enter my disk utility. And right now I don't have it because I went through the installation, but it would show up here. And here's where you can eject the drive that was been loaded, which is the installer. And then this will guide you through the setup as you normally would when you're installing Mac OS. Now, when it comes to the Windows side of this, we should be able to do the same. Let me go ahead and just clear recents here, and let me go to my folder. I'm gonna go ahead and close this one, and I should have an ISO here for Windows Enterprise. I do. And as you can see there, it shows up. And so same thing, once you get it going, you'll be able to run through the setup. Now that I've done all of the setup, the additional thing that I needed to do was to, as usual, once I get in, was to install Chrome as opposed to whatever OS browser comes with the installation. And then I went ahead and also installed the tools from VMware. And so this is on the, let me navigate here, on the virtual machine menu. And if you scroll through the options, you'll see the option to install the tools. And so let me go ahead and start this up. I'm gonna go ahead and cancel here. I'll go ahead and okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open up here Mac OS. And as you can see there, I have an image. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down. And the only reason I did that was because I wanted to see exactly what the menu is. And the menu option is install VMware tools. And so in a minute here, that should become visible. And as you can see, since I have already installed it, it gives me an option of reinstalling VMware. But I don't need to do that. So once you do that, remember the first step was to just install the OS from scratch. Second one was to install Chrome. The third one is to install VMware tools. And then at that point, you should be able to configure the display and anything else you need, and you'll have a nice clean machine. You should also do snapshots, which is one of the options here. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it, and you can see there that I created a fresh install snapshot. That means that I can run through installations, and if I ever wanna get back to the fresh install, I can by simply clicking here on that option. So that's a pretty quick overview of the installation. The gotcha was the ejecting the drive of Mac OS once it finished downloading. But other than that, that went pretty smoothly. And don't install the VMs that MIT provides. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they have issues. Do a fresh install, and it'll take a bit, maybe 20 minutes or so. But then you have a fresh VM that you can do a snapshot on to make sure you maintain that clean base. And from there on, you can run through any examples and get back to the original state. Okay, that's it.